Hello everyone, I'm Chris Mallet, and we're back here again. Gonna play some more combat mission with the Command Friction 2.0 rules. But first thing, a point of procedure. I gotta apologize for Bill. I am a week late on this video. Not totally my fault. I started a new job recently, and we're very, very busy for the next couple of weeks. So I'm not gonna have a lot of free time. One thing I need to do to address those of you who have seen my last video, I did mess up a couple of things, and I want to go over them. Let's see, command task. Yes, he elaborated on the command task. Honestly, I'm okay with this dangerous part of changing the command task. Sounds like fun. You know, if your task is on attack and then you switch it to defense, say the situation changes, some of your units might not get the message, and they might end up getting cut off or chopped up a little bit or anything. It sounds fine to me. The engineer task. Last time I played, I had my engineer team just set to engineer, but that's incorrect. Actually, you'll want to have it as a move task or something, and should be moving right behind the formation it's attached to, and then you wait until you have something engineer-y to do. And that's when you give them the engineer task, and they'll do that task. And I'll go over that real quick once we load things up. And then the area fire. I did do that incorrectly. You have to use the initiative action to use area fire. Let me point that out real quick. I'm not 100% set up here, and that's my fault. Where did I put that? Oops, wrong thing. Google Sheets. There we go. I should have got totally set up before I did this. Let's see. Battle log, Licornet. There we go. Okay. So if we go, I think Easy Company. Taking a minute to change. Okay. Now, in order to do area fire, say, for example, first platoon of Easy Company, they have enemy contacts across the dirt field that they were in front of. What you need to do is go over here to Initiative Task, and you need to use an Initiative Task of Engage or Move and Engage in order to do area fire. And what that does is it rolls to see if the unit can make a split decision without having to follow an order from another unit. This is the individual team leader of that individual team or squad making a decision on the fly. And according to this, first thing you ought to note, in order to use an initiative task, units must have an enemy contact in order to use an initiative task. That's point number one. And secondly, a unit cannot use initiative if it is also scheduled for an HQ or unit task change that turn. So if there is a new task, say this unit is scheduled to do something else, you cannot also use an initiative task on that turn. You have to wait for this new task to be rolled for and succeeded before you can use initiative on the next turn. So that's something to keep in mind. What else was it? Yeah, I did make a mistake changing the task on a guy, but I mean, I did realize that after. We'll go over that again. I'm going to load up combat mission, and we'll play a couple more turns, just using all of the things. Looks like you're using unit task for every formation. Yeah, you don't have to. I mean, you can just put an HQ task, and as long as all the squads and units in that formation are doing the exact same task, you don't need to roll for each of them individually. I just did that just mostly because I felt like it, and it just seems more realistic to me that the platoon commander gives an order to all of his squads and then says, all right, let's go, but maybe not all the squads react at the same time. Maybe things space out a little bit. I don't know. I guess you could do it either way. I mean, I'm just a horrible nitpicker, and I like to do literally everything at once. It's I don't know, whatever. Anyway, initiative waypoints I mean, the rules are up. Bill has posted them up in there's links to them in the forum thread. I'm not going to go over all of them. But one thing I do need to mention is if you're going to have a tank in an infantry support role, in order to give him a new task, you must have your infantry HQ that he's attached to be in the same action spot. Because tanks could not communicate via radio with infantry in the World War II time frame. The only way they could communicate was via the phone mounted on the rear of the tank. Although one thing I would suggest, if Bill is watching this, if the tank commander is unbuttoned and the infantry HQ is within, say, voice range, or maybe even... I mean, why could the tank commander not look out of his open hatch at the infantry HQ and get hand signals, or just the infantry HQ just yells at him or something? I don't know. It might be something to consider, but I mean, it's not really a big deal. I always considered that if the tank is nearby the infantry HQ and the tank commander is unbuttoned, he can just look at the guy and see him. And you could use that to change task. But I mean, hey, I'm not, it's your rules. It's cool. I don't know. Just wanted to mention that. It's a little early for me. It's 11:30, and I've already been rather busy today. So, just want to get this through. So let's start up Battle for Normandy. God, so many games, but I've no time to play them anymore. It's kind of sad. I am enjoying the new job, though. It's quite fun. Probably the best job I've ever had, really. So, there we go. Let's get this started up. That's kind of loud. I might need... I'll fix it in video editing. I'll turn the volume down. Maybe I'll cut this part out too. I know the attention span of the people watching my videos is not very long. I don't know, it seems to be just generally on YouTube. I don't want to get all preachy about YouTube analytics or anything, but I think my average video watch duration is like 3 minutes. And here I am posting like 40-minute videos about all this. Anyway, here we are. I think where we left off, we received a couple of shots over here, took a couple of casualties, had one guy wounded, another guy killed outright. Good thing he's just a rifleman. These guys are moving in the hedgerow. These guys are attacking spotted enemy contacts across the field. First thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to toggle the sound off because it's kind of loud in my headphones. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, the tank no longer has an area fire thing. He is aware of that contact, though, so I might have him roll for initiative. Let's pop out of here real quick. Unit task must be in support of HQ task. Unit changes are input at the end of the previous turn and rolled for in the next turn's order phase. Alright. So, technically speaking, right, if I wanted to give all these guys new tasks, because we're currently in a command phase, I could not do that right now. What I would have to do is wait. They'd be input at the end of this turn. So basically, after I've finished setting up all my move orders and things, I could then come over here to the battle log, and I could put in the new tasks that I want to input, and then I would have to wait until after I hit go and play through the whole next turn. Then I could come in here and check all of my die rolls and see which ones get picked up. But let's do a little bit of cleanup first. I'm going to put those guys on idle reserve. I know it's whatever. The engineer are supposed to be on idle reserve or move or just normal things until they're actually doing something engineering, and then we can give them new task, and then we do new task engineer, and that'll get them in line for doing their blasting or whatever. Unit task is detached. I'm just going to delete the rest of this. Detached easy company, and then I'll put a colon, and then whatever task they're assigned afterwards is just going to go right there. I know a lot. The bookkeeping isn't strictly necessary for this, but I mean, I like to just keep track of things. All right, so let's have a look around. Let's see. So first platoon, easy company. Let's go over here. Easy company, first platoon is on attack orders. They're attacking across a dirt field, and all of the squads and mortar team are also on attack. So that's their current task, and they're fulfilling their current task by using a succession of move or assault orders over here. These guys are currently stationary, and they're firing 220 meters at that target over there using area fire. Technically, that should have been a... Actually, let's do that right now as a demonstration. I'm going to clear that area target. They technically can't do that, and neither can these guys, so I'm going to clear that as well. And what we're going to do is, I know there's supposed to be input at the end of the turn. Let me check the rules on that. Initiative, also scheduled initiative tasks are entered before the orders phase and rolled for at the same time as all the unit and HQ tasks that were input in the previous turn's order phase. Okay, so entered before the orders phase. Technically, we're before the orders phase right here. So what I can do is first platoon, who is that? First platoon, second squad, easy company. We're going to put initiative, engage for area fire. And since we only have these two previous, we're gonna call that die rolls for now. But let me see. They're currently doing a thing. These guys are stationary. Light machine gun team, I'm considering them applied to the platoon leader. He's busy calling in fire. Let's see. The mortar team. The mortar team can see that new contact. I'm also gonna do an initiative for the mortar team. And they're also going to try to do that. That's the engineer team. What are these guys? They're a team. He's actually medicing up that guy. That's nice. Alright, so I can't schedule, if I'm going to area fire, I can't schedule him for a new task until next turn. So we're going to have to wait for the roll on that. Alright, that's Easy Company HQ. I just wanted the XO team up here just to put some more rifles up here. The bazooka team is hanging back. They can sit stationary for now. What is the company HQ? HQ task, attack and identify enemy positions. I don't know, do I need to put... I mean, this is red task. I don't think company HQ... Let me check the rule. This is an interesting question. Does the HQ unit, okay, the actual company HQ unit, does he require a unit task of his own to do things, or can he simply rove around wherever he wishes as long as he's in the vicinity of his units? Can change HQ task at any time as long as he passes the die roll test. There are no limits. Oh, okay. So yeah, alright. HQ task changes are input at the end of the previous turn and rolled for in the next turn's order phase. Yep, same as usual. A leader of any unit with subordinate units can change HQ tasks at any time as long as he passes the die roll test. Alright. So he can do whatever he wants, really. But the company HQ does not have subordinate units, technically, because there's only HQs below him. So he receives tasks like normal. Alright, that area target is done. Let's try 2nd Platoon Light Mortar Team. 2nd Platoon Mortar, we're going to do an initiative for engage on him, because he doesn't have a task change scheduled. Those guys are currently waiting. I guess they're waiting to shoot. Let's see. Yeah. I think that contact just popped up in the last turn. So these guys are probably, the reason they're doing waiting is because they can see him and they're just waiting, I don't know, waiting for something. Anyway, I'm going to let 2nd Squad and the HQ shoot. 1st Squad, I'll leave them in position 2. And then that's Dog Company, 3rd Platoon. Give these guys a move order because the platoon HQ is already moving, and I'm considering the light machine gun team to be a part of the platoon HQ, just for simplicity's sake. Okay. So 1st and 2nd Squad, 1st and the mortar team. Had moves queued, and these guys, let me check something. I really should have read up a little bit more on this. Unit tasks are input at the previous turn and rolled for in the next turn's order phase. Alright, so these were put in on the previous turn and they're rolled for in this order phase. Now, each sheet does the thing. Okay, so we're just going to roll for Easy Company's task right now. Yeah, don't need any of that. Alright, so 2nd Squad of 1st Platoon has an initiative task of engage, and theirs is green, and so does the mortar. So 2nd Squad and the mortar. 1st Platoon pass. Okay, they have a more solid target right here. Oh, they can't actually aim at it. Ah, these fiendish map makers here. Okay. I know they have another target right here. And apparently they can't see him either. Okay. So technically, that initiative task is invalid, because I can't even see. That's interesting. Does it say anything, or do I just delete the task? Yeah, alright. I'll just leave that up for now so the die rolls don't change, but yeah, 2nd Squad can't see the target, so I'm just gonna have to delete that initiative task. And I guess I could plot them a new order to continue their attack task if they wanted. Although they are supposed to be overwatching 1st Squad's movement, so I guess they're just going to be stationary for now. But the mortar team can shoot. And they do have this new contact here. So I'm going to give them a target briefly for 60 seconds, and that's what they're going to do. Yeah, you're going to get it, aren't you? Okay. So I can clear that out for second squad now because it doesn't matter. The mortar team is still area firing. Oh, crap. I just forgot whether or not that was passed before. I know these two were, so I'm going to put them in move. Or no, the mortar was. Move. See, I wish there was a way to freeze the page while you change things around. Maybe I should have jotted it down. I don't know. Anyway, I'll just consider that one failed too. Whatever. Honestly, I forget what the die roll was. All right, so mortar team of 3rd platoon is going to move. Where are you, 3rd platoon? Mortar team. Going to move. Now these guys that are already moving, just going to add a couple of waypoints. And these guys haven't moved yet. I kind of like, putting the squads on their own orders loop here because it does tend to stagger things out, and I don't know, makes it look a little more interesting as opposed to just moving everybody in a big block. I suppose if you're doing an attack or something and you want to coordinate movements, that would you'd probably change that up for yourself, but to each his own. Alright, so that finishes Easy Company. Let's go over to Dog Company now. There are no new tasks queued up, so the only thing we can do is continue our active task, and then at the end of this, we can queue up new tasks now, but they cannot take effect until next turn. So first things first, let's check Dog Company 1st platoon. Just going to change their movement type. Same here. Same here. These guys came to a stop by themselves, but since they're still on move task, and they're moving into wheat field. I thought I changed that to wheat field and then hedgerow, but I mean, they are still on a move task, so I'm going to do this. Although I suppose I'm going to move them down there. Move them up there. Alright, 2nd platoon is still currently moving. Moving to the wheat field behind the CP. These guys are moving in the wheat field. Okay, move to contact outside route is what they're doing. And so far, They do know about these two contacts, but they don't have any direct contact of their own, so they're just going to keep doing that. That's in the other platoon. These guys are still in reserve. Was I? Yes, this tank. First medium tank. I head over to 2nd Battalion. First tank, his task is move. He's currently moving. D company. I'm going to delete that because, as before, you have to give him his own tasks. All right. I think we're pretty much squared away here to keep going. One thing I'm going to do, this tank also has that new contact. How much ammo does he have left? 32 HE. I'm going to have him do an initiative. Wow. Alright. I mean, that passes. So I'm going to give him a target briefly. Do a 30-second target briefly on that new contact. Meanwhile, this tank is still moving, so he's unavailable for anything else. I think that's about it. I hope I'm not screwing something up here. Check dog company again. Everybody is still on move. First platoon should finish moving this turn, and then they're just going to switch automatically to idle. And then I suppose I'll give them a new task if they have any contact, or we'll just leave them in position for a turn and see what they do. Alright, let me check the battalion HQ. Dog company still has no contact. Alright. So once just like before, once dog company has contact, I'm going to change move to contact to attack. Well, it'll be over here in the new task. I'll put new task attack, and then just for the rest of the mission, the force task will be to attack through the objective. Let's see, die roll test. There's only one die roll per turn in the command tab and one in each company tab. Alright, I probably should have read that a little bit more closely before starting this, but I mean, this is about all the time I have. Anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to hit the red button, we're going to see how the turn plays out, and then I'm going to go through another full setup using the command friction rules again, just to run through the entire next turn. And hopefully I didn't mess anything up, and then after that I'm just going to have to cut this off because I don't have that much time left. Let's turn the sound back on so you can hear everything. And let's hit go.
Roger. West out.
Oh. All right. Well, as you can see, we've had an interesting development. The 1st Platoon commander, platoon leader, has become a casualty. Let's see if we can watch that happen. Right here, as he moved up into the hedgerow, he ran forward and got shot right in the gut. That sucks. He almost made it. But, you know, that's the perennial problem with combat mission. Your platoon leader is always the first guy to get killed whenever you move into a new location. I mean, aside from these two guys, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so that'll do it for that turn. Let's see, we've got new contacts. 1st Platoon has contact. The light machine gun team just lost contact there, and this squad has contact. Now, is Dog Company aware of those contacts yet? And the answer is no. He does not see these contacts. So we're going to, for this next orders phase, we're going to assume that Dog Company still has not reported contact. So the 2nd Battalion task, there's this right here, no contact, is not going to be updated because the actual company HQ does not yet have these contacts, and he also does not yet have communication with the battalion HQ because he hasn't stopped long enough for his radio to begin working again. So let's see, supporting assets. These guys are all in idle reserve again. Okay, 1st tank is still on a move order. I think he's still moving. Yes, he has not finished that yet, so he's going to stay on that task. 3rd tank was on engage. One quick rule check here. When do initiative tasks end is the question. Are entered before the orders phase and rolled for at the same time. Alright, so I guess if this tank attached to Easy Company, if he's going to keep area targeting, which actually that ran out because I used a target briefly and that expired. Okay, never mind. So if I want to use the initiative task again, I would have to roll for it again, I imagine. But I'm not going to. I'm just gonna clear that out, and we're gonna leave that there. So are there any new tasks to be assigned? Not currently. Okay, let's go to Dog Company. First platoon. Has finished their movement except for 2nd Squad, who's just running up into the hedgerow right now. So just for sake of brevity, I'm going to consider Dog Company 1st Platoon task move is completed, and they're immediately going to switch over to an idle reserve task. Because they're now currently idle. Which means if I'm going to assign a new task to them, say engage, I have to put it over here in the new task. And once again, being a horrible nitpicker, I'm going to do new tasks for all the units, and then we'll see how that plays out afterwards. So once again, just a quick thing, unit tasks are input at the end of the previous turn and rolled for in the next turn's order phase. So these tasks are being input now, but I'm not going to roll for them or institute any of them until the next turn. So that's one thing to keep in mind. You don't switch tasks directly, and you do not input tasks and roll for them in the same turn unless it's an initiative task. So these new tasks are just going to sit here, and I'm going to take a look at second platoon real quick. Second platoon is still currently moving, and they're going to stop right about here. That's fine. And third platoon dog company is where? I don't remember where they are. Oh, they're over here. Alright, so what I'm going to do also for third platoon, they're in idle reserve in that hedgerow. Do I want to move them yet? I think they're in danger of coming out of, well, no, they got radios, so they'll be in C2. Nah, they'll be fine. That's one thing I like about the Americans. There's so many radios everywhere. You get excellent C2 coverage all the time. So the only thing I need to do... Yeah, see, he's currently in contact with Dog Company. Even though he's all the way over here, he probably can't even... Oh, he can see him. But still. So we don't need that. I'm going to leave these guys in idle reserve, and we're going to move over to Easy Company, and we're going to see... That initiative task for the mortar should finish. Yeah, the target briefly is done. I'm just going to clear that out. I think we shot at them enough. That should have softened them up. And I'm going to delete this initiative task. Now, is there anything else needs to be done? He's still doing his very short assault movements, although I think I'm going to change them at some point. I'm going to have them do an assault move, just a short one up to there. Have them move in a short rush up a little bit, because I don't think... Yeah, that hedgerow's out of line of sight. Once they go prone in this field, because of all the vegetation in the field and the fact that the terrain slopes downward slightly towards this end of the field, they can't really see, so in order to attack, they're going to have to move. Let's see, have these guys finished medicing up? Yes, and they recovered the bazooka in one bazooka round. So second squad is moving to that point. I don't want to risk these guys moving. Moving a rush there. 2, 3 there. 1, 2, 3 there. 1, 2, 3 there. Alright, now they're going to rejoin second squad at the end of this move, but they're going to have short pauses just to make sure they hit the deck. And I'll give them a face command for good measure. Alright, he's got 11 rounds left. I don't want to waste the rest of them. It's one thing I'll need to do. I did run through Dog Company rather quick, and I forgot to make one update. First Platoon HQ is now a -1 veteran. First Platoon HQ, veteran, leadership, -1. So that's going to affect his die rolls for his unit tasks. Poor guy. Now, is there anything else I need to do? Is there a hedgerow gap I can move through? Oh god, I forgot. There's mud right there. Let me slide that waypoint over. Hopefully we can miss it. You're going to stop and turn. You're going to avoid that soft ground and mud. I think he's about to get bogged down. That's why he's rocked forward on his suspension like that. Yeah, it looks like it. See how the tracks have just started sinking into the ground? Hopefully we can avoid that by turning you to the side. I just hope there's nothing hostile looking at you, because you're about to expose your flank a little bit. You know what I can do? Can I target smoke? I can target smoke. Unfortunately, I can only use one, and in 60 seconds he's going to shoot all 5 of his smoke rounds. Which way is the wind blowing? Wind is gentle from the southwest. I forget which side of the compass is which. I think it's the red. Let me check a smoke trail. Yeah, wind is coming across this way, so it's blowing in that direction. So if I hit target smoke, say right here, that should lay down a pretty decent smoke screen. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go over to some battalion, 1st Tank, detached, no, 1st Platoon E Company. We're going to do an initiative task of engage, and this is going to be for shooting smoke. And he failed. Okay, never mind. Alright, so once again, we're not rolling for these new tasks yet. They're just going to sit in the stack until the end of next turn, and then we will roll for them. Easy Company HQ, first squad. That move command has been there the whole time, and he still fails, apparently. That's getting a little irritating. Maybe breaking things down by squad is not a good idea. Because basically this first squad of 3rd Platoon right here, the platoon leader has said, alright, we're moving out, and everybody else starts moving out, and 1st squad apparently didn't hear him when he said, we're moving out. I'll give it one more turn, and if he still doesn't pass his die roll, then I'm just going to move him regardless. I mean, the guy can't be that dense. The trouble is like I said, it would be nice if we had a die roll button, like just, flip this over if you need a new die roll for a turn, because the thing is, the one thing about this spreadsheet is if you don't input any new tasks or initiative tasks, then these values don't change. So if he's failed and there's no new tasks being input, unless, well, maybe if you input it again. Now, see, if you click on move again, it doesn't change it again. They still stay put unless you change it again. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to ask Bill about that, if there's a way we can simulate a die roll if there's no task being changed. I mean, can I just set this to move and then put it back to idle reserve, and then we call that a die roll? And in which case he just failed again anyway. I don't know. I don't know if that's been planned for or not. Anyway, Let's see. Easy Company, it's pretty much all set. I think Dog Company, first platoon is about to assume a new task, and they're just going to start shooting. Second platoon is still moving. Third platoon is still idle. And the battalion commander is still not aware that Dog Company has made contact yet, so they're still on no contact, so the active task is still moved to contact. Attack enemy positions, assault, occupy objective. Yeah, so once that force task is going to change to attack once we have contact up. Alright, so let's hit the red button again. I'm sure once I get used to using these rules, these turns will go a lot faster. One thing I should note, let me double check. Go to the rules, go to attack. Intended to attack an area, an enemy formation, or unit must specify in the comments field either enemy formation being attacked. I'm pretty sure that's attack across dirt field. Yeah. So, even though these guys are on an attack order, they can go ahead and move whenever they need to because their objective is not to attack these units. Their objective is to attack until they get across the dirt field. Alright, I just wanted to clarify that because I'm sitting there and I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, should I be plotting all these move orders going across? And yes, it is within the rules to do so. Because I specified that they're attacking across the dirt field, they're not attacking the enemy units on the other side. That's just incidental in their task. Can include attack by maneuver a positioned area or enemy units. Does not include attack by fire, yes. Attack ends when the objective area is occupied, the enemy unit or formation has been destroyed, or if it's cancelled. But once we cross that dirt field, then the task will end and they'll go into an idle reserve. And it's a very nice ability to leave definitions of the unit tasks in his new rule set. It cuts off those questions before they really begin. Anyway, as far as I know, the battle log is finished. Our orders have been plotted. Everything's in place. Let's turn the sound on. I'll hit the red button again. You guys can watch what happens, and then I guess I'll wrap this up from here. Oh, we just made it. Or maybe he was running through that crater. I don't know. It's on my end of the field, I think. Let me check and see where that artillery landed. I didn't actually see. I think the Germans are calling in artillery on me, which would make sense. I've been stationary for at least a turn or two. Oh no, it came in the back of the map. Alright, we're still spotting for the 81mm mortars there. That kind of scared me for a second. So, Dog Company HQ, let me shut the sound off. Dog Company HQ is getting in on the action. A German squad or team or something seems to have backed off from the hedgerow line, and they're right up against that hedgerow there. They're probably going to take some casualties real soon. Spotted another contact here. Looks like a light machine gun there and there. So Dog Company is now in their position, and they are, I mean, technically they're idle, but they are shooting. Once the engage task gets put in, I'm going to deploy the mortar, and I'll have them use their initiative to start area firing on some contacts. Let's see, Dog Company is now aware of at least this contact, which is new for them. Yeah, second 505th still does not have any word from Dog Company, but Dog Company is now in contact. Their radio icon is up, and the C2 indicator is green. So that new contact should be passed along shortly, and then I can switch Dog Company from, let's go back over here. Dog Company is going to switch from no contact to reports contact, and then we're going to do a new task on the new force task up here. So that should be happening pretty quick. Anyway, I just wanted to post this up again. I don't want to make this run on too long again. Just wanted to address the mistakes I made in the previous video and show the process again. And hopefully Bill can correct any mistakes I've made here. I hope I didn't make any. I mean, I went over it a few times. But yeah, I'm just going to have to cut this off here, and I got some things I got to do. So I'll catch you next time. Okay, bye.